Metropole Debrief Episode 1, Coronavirus versus the People. On the 25th of March 2020, the President invoked the Public Order No. 1, declaring a curfew from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., effective from the 27th of March 2020. Closure of all entertainment joints, suspension of schools, stringent measures in public transport, and an all-time reminder to wash your hands and keep a social distance. On this episode of Metropole Debrief, we seek to find out how Kenyans are coping in the wake of coronavirus in the country. My name is Ndiro Oganga. Contrary to the government's previous advice to Kenyans to remain calm, this North Rift shuttle stage is telling a different narrative, as a number of Kenyans have come here and are lining up, waiting to book a ticket to travel upcountry. This might be because several coronavirus cases have been confirmed in Nairobi, and they think that they will be safe in their respective villages, as no case has been confirmed yet outside of Nairobi.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Bernard Odhiambo. Mimi ni dereva wa Blue Line shuttle. Tangu corona ianze, so naona watu wameenda nyumbani. Mimi nadhani watu wanaenda ushauri kwa sababu wamehofia maisha yao. Juu wamesikia corona imeanza Nairobi. Imeanzia Nairobi. Sasa wanaenda nyumbani, wanasikia nyumbani labda ni kuzuri.
Kwa majina ni Agnes Njeri from Southeastern Kenya University. Naenda nyumbani kwa sababu Uhuru alisema twende, and again we fear kuambukizana huko shule. I think I'll be safe because sitakuwa napatana na watu wengi sana than kuliko huko shule, kwa sababu shule mnapatana na watu, wanafunzi ni wengi, lecturers will be coming and going, so I think I'm better there.
With speculation of a national lockdown rife, Kenyans are flooding markets to be able to buy enough foodstuff to last them through the whole lockdown period. However, traders are telling us that Kenyans are cautious about the safety of the food in the wake of coronavirus, and equally, because of the cash crunch from the lockdown nationally, there isn't a lot of money going around the market, hence Kenyans are not buying as much foodstuff as they should.
Mimi naitwa Kevin Juma. Mimi nafanya marikiti market, wakulima market. Hapa mimi wanga nafanya biashara ya trolley, niko na trolley na kodesha, na bado nauza kwa soko, nauza beetroot, wholesale na retail. Bado nafanya supply ya vegetables. Na bado nabeba nikipata mzigo ile light ile naweza nikabeba. So tangaze kuna corona Kenya imetu affect juu kuseme pande ya trolley ya kubeba mzigo, hakuna wasafiri, hakuna kazi. Tukuja kwa soko, wateja wamereduce. Hakuna vitu zinaingia kwa wingi na hakuna wateja wenye wanakuja kubai. So hapo ndio tumeathirikia pande ya income, hakuna. Ile mambo na profit ya business imekuwa iko chini. Ile sales imekuwa iko chini. Ikiendelea hivi tutakuwa maskini sisi wote. Juu kama mimi ile pesa nilikuwa natarajia kidogo nipata, huwa napata ama naweza nikuwa nikipata, sitaipata juu kama nilikuwa na make 500 kwa siku, ita reduce to zero, because ule customer wangu 2-3 kama mali alikuwa anafanya kazi, tuseme kama ni restaurant imefungwa, hata kuwa na kazi ya kuja kuniletea.
Kwa majina naitwa Chef Barasa, nafanya hapa Sakis, na tangu tangazwe na hii ugonjwa ya corona customer walikuwa wengi, lakini saa hizi wanakuja moja moja. Kama hapa hivi nafanya kazi ya mshikaki, nilikuwa kwa siku nauza kama 200, yani mshikaki 200 ambaye nauza 50, lakini saa hizi naweza uza kama mshikaki 20 peke yake. Kwa hivyo kazi iko chini kabisa. Mimi nadhani kwa sababu Wakenya vile wameadharishwa na hii ugonjwa wakae nyumbani, ndio imebidi sasa watu katika mji sasa wako wengi sana vile. Watu wengi wamekaa nyumbani sasa hawaji kula.
20146, always remember Metropole Debrief is a dialogue. We'd love to hear from you. Where did all this begin? On the 13th of March, the Health Cabinet Secretary confirmed Kenya's first coronavirus positive test. A woman who had traveled from the United Kingdom into the country developed symptoms, and upon going to the hospital, she tested positive of coronavirus. So this is the lady arrived on the 13th. 27 people who had met with the patient were traced, quarantined, and tested. 2 of the contacts tested positive for COVID-19. On the 15th of March, President Uhuru Kenyatta announced 2 more cases in the country, making the number of confirmed cases in the country 3 patients. Fast forward to 25th of March, the president came bearing both good news and bad news. The bad news, the number of confirmed cases had risen to 28, and as of today, the number has risen to 31 due to 3 other cases. Now, the good news was 1 patient had fully recovered from the disease. There have been some measures put in place to ensure that Kenyans stay safe and remain safe. What are some of these measures? The first one and the most basic that you've heard 1,000 times: wash your hands with soap and running water. The government and the private sector are putting out communication encouraging Kenyans to wash their hands as often as possible. There's also another encouragement from the government: work from home. For employers, the government is advising them to allow their employees, where viable, to work from home in a bid to practice social distancing. They say the virus does not move people, move the virus, so stay at home. All entertainment joints, that is bars and pubs, are closed. For restaurants, you can only do takeaway. The president has also invoked the Public Order Number 1, declaring a national curfew from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. and the curfew comes into effect on the 27th of March 2020, and that is Friday. In the public transport sector, which accounts to over 80% of the total internal freight, has been affected. On Friday, 20th of March, Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe said 14-seater matatus can only carry 8 passengers. 25-seaters can only carry 15 passengers, and 30 plus to have 60% seating capacity. So whatever car you're operating, 60% is the maximum. Let us look at sectors that have been suspended. One of those sectors includes education, which has been suspended indefinitely. Children were recalled from school on the 15th when the president gave that directive, from preschool to universities. Further, international flights into the country were equally suspended as of 24th of March 2020. This means that if you were any other part of the world and had not landed in the country by the 24th, you cannot come in. Now, upon landing, these Kenyans were met by a rude shock because they were told you either quarantine at a hotel facility picked by the government or at a government facility, and they're complaining that the cost is really so high for them to meet. So this means they are stranded at the airport because all these quarantine centers are beyond their financial muscle. Another sector that has suspended its duties is the judiciary. Well, the judiciary announced its own measures to contain the pandemic. The courts in Kenya will not be hearing any new cases. All appeals and hearings in criminal and civil cases have been suspended with immediate effect. So what if you're an accused person? You will remain in remand and you will not be presented in court. And we remember that circular that went around saying Nairobi County will not be arresting people because you cannot present them in a court of law stipulated by the Constitution. Now, we've looked at different sectors. How about your money? Because that's the most critical part. With relation to money, Kenyans will get a VAT tax relief of 2%. So VAT will be charged at 14%, down from 16% previously. In addition, the president also directed the National Treasury to move to Parliament to offer Kenyans with a gross income of 24,000 and below a tax relief of 100%. So this is a sigh of relief for anyone with a gross of 24K. You will not be paying any taxes. How about the rest of Kenyans? What's in it for you? So the government said they care about you, so they'll give you a 5% tax break from your pay as you earn. So instead of paying 30%, you will be paying 20%. And we also remember the president said, let's encourage digital transactions because physical money is one of the easiest way to pass around the disease. And we saw telecommunication firms, Safaricom and Airtel included, coming up with new regulations and scrapping of transaction fee for any amount below 1,000. So to send 1,000 and below rather is free across the country. These are just some of the measures that the government is taking to protect the health of Kenyans and cushion them from the economic implications of COVID-19. However, what do Kenyans have to say? How do they feel? How are they processing this information? And how are they coping with the uncertainty that has gripped the country? After the break, you get to find out more.